Happy weekend, everybody. This is the Macro Ghost here, and I have got a fantastic video for you today. It's Sunday, February 8th, and as we go further into Q1, I want to present some data to you, and I want to present it in a very logical way so that you can make up your own mind to say, is he making sense or do I not believe him? Because that is my purpose. It's just to lay out the data for you, and then for you to make up your own decisions, just as I am going to do. As a macro analyst, I look at everything. So if you like looking at all the data in front of you and behind you and projecting to the future, you're going to want to stay jacked in for this video, because I'm going to present arguments that are going to allow you to say, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense, or fuck this guy, I don't believe him. But stay tuned till the end, because this is going to be one of the most pivotal videos that you can watch in Q1 2026, and we are going to get into it right now. Let's get right into it, guys. The very first video I posted on YouTube was covering the Gaussian Channel on November. If we go over here to the pointer here, on November 7th, this is November 10th, this is a weekly. So November 7th, it entered the Gaussian weekly, and I said, this is not good. This is a failure, a potential failure, because it had to close the week in there, which it did. No fail, no fail, no fail, no fail, fail, failed. And I said, okay, we are in the Gaussian. My assumption is that the bull market is over. That's my assumption. Do assumptions have to be correct all the time? No. I have to be correct 55% of the time with big money to have a career in this field, and be wrong 45% with smaller money and stop losses. That's how I operate. So I was correct. What do I do with this data? Well, I'm going to tell you how I think as a macro strategist, how I've used the last 20 to 25 years of experience to make strategic, logical decisions on the market, be right and be right big. So I put my words into a piece of paper that you guys can see is the logic behind market decision making. My logic is, given X is correct, then leverage X to predict Y. Given the Gaussian weekly entry and exit predicted the bear market correctly, I can now confidently speculate on more downside. That's the Y. So X is the Gaussian, Y is the more downside. Let's have a look. Given X is correct, then I can use the Gaussian, the midline. As I said, it would touch 94. It would touch that midline. Why did I say that? Because it did it in 2022. I'm just using the past. Given that, it's gonna consolidate on this bear flag. Let's zoom in a little bit. Consolidate on this bear flag, touch the midline, fake everybody out, and then when it breaks this is where the fun begins on the downside. Now, if you don't like taking short positions out, I have a solution for that. It's a volatile solution, but I have a solution for you to consider. Because in this move right here, this is the meat and potatoes, and this happens over 8 to 12 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, bounce 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 weeks. So we have an additional few months of downside, and then probably sideways action from there till the quote-unquote bottom is found. That will be some sideways action, just like here. This is 8 weeks of sideways, by the way. So don't underestimate the charts. The charts are your friend. The trend is your friend. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say there's going to be more downside. Given Gaussian is correct, I'm leveraging the correctness to predict more downside. And now, how do I know? How do I know I'm going to do this? Well, I can go back to technicals and go like this. Given the top here, this is the top, we can say top to bottom is approximately a year, 371 days. You can say the bottom is right there, and then it goes sideways, 365 days. Does this work for 2017? Yes, it does. Let's look at what we get. What do you know? We get October 2026. I say buy in September. September should be a down month. I like to DCA. I'm not here to call a bottom, but look at the confluence we get on October. Charts are just, the TA here is just fantastic. We don't have FA in the crypto world, so we have to rely on TA. And so how will I do this? How will I use this? Well, I will use the calendar. As I just said, I will use technicals. Technicals are bounces. And I want to use astrology. I'm not a magician. I'm not an astrologer. but I respect what astrology is going to tell me about the future. I will not pretend to be a believer in this stuff, but I will use it as a correlation. As given X is correct, I'm going to use X to predict Y. I'm going to use the bear market and astrology to predict future movements. And I'm going to tell you how. But first, I want to show you something that's really interesting. So we are in a bear market. That's undebatable, as Steve would say from Crypto Crew U. It's undebatable. We're in a bear market for Bitcoin. And everything is looking like 2022 and even 2018. Everything is looking similar, which is great. That's great for predictability of a market. The equity markets don't have that. Only Bitcoin has that predictability. So what I would like to do now is, I've said this in previous videos, that MicroStrategy Inverse 2X is a very opportune and very, very volatile, dangerous play on shorting Bitcoin. But you're not shorting it, you're buying it. So if Bitcoin rallies, this 2X inverse MicroStrategy is going to get crushed. And look what happened. It started off and it faked everybody out because MicroStrategy had earnings and the stock rallied. Do I believe this rally is going to continue based on the assumption that we are in a bear? No, I don't. That is how I say, I'm going to buy. On Monday, I'm going to buy this. This is a fantastic sell-off. This is a 52% decline just because MicroStrategy produced earnings. MicroStrategy is Bitcoin, plain and simple. Not debatable, not up for debate. So Bitcoin didn't bounce that much. Why did MicroStrategy go down that much? It's an inverse ETF that uses leverage and uses futures. So it's not going to track Bitcoin exactly, or even Bitcoin 2X exactly. So what I'm saying is that these big pullbacks are opportunities for me to DCA. I might just throw confident money at this because this is a huge decline. And I believe Bitcoin's in a bear. If this is a huge decline, let's go back to our logic. If this is a huge decline and I believe Bitcoin is in a bear, I'm using this decline to predict the future. Okay? Now, what other evidence can I turn to? So I turn here, and again, let me caveat by saying, this is not my professional field, astrology. I use it as a complement, as a supplement to leverage against my assumptions that I am correct. I am correct on the bear. Then I can use this stuff to confirm my assumption, to make an educated guess, because that's all I'm doing. I'm making an educated guess on the future. Am I going to be right? I don't know. But I'm going to have stops, and that's the logic I'm using. Anything to do with Uranus is volatile, and the eclipse is ruled by Uranus. So volatility is my play of choice. Be aware Uranus breaks support and resistance levels also, perhaps why Bitcoin broke support last week. So this is an astrologer saying Uranus is volatile, we're in Uranus, Bitcoin broke support. I don't say she's right or wrong, I'm just using it as confluence, okay? Mercury retrograde season starts next week. That's usually confluence of volatility. It's only the shadow and eclipse, but because of Saturn-Neptune, it's very muggy astrology. I don't know what any of this means, but it's confirming my assumption, okay? I want to remind that these eclipses in Leo and Aquarius can tend to last for a few weeks, and I think we started to see it last week on markets and crypto along with other astrology. That could even take us to, say, April, where Uranus likely takes over. I have mentioned I don't like crypto for April, and I'll make a separate post. So her not liking crypto lends to my assumption that we are in a bear. Lends to my assumption that I'm going to buy this investment at 13. I mean, it's down 50% in a day because MicroStrategy confirmed something that the market liked, and, I don't buy that stuff. I just say, okay, it pumped, great. And as I said in the logic, pumps are going to be fuel for how I confirm my theory, my hypothesis. Pumps, bounces. I'm going to get on those bounces and I'm going to be short. Or another way to be short is to buy this inverse Mr. MicroStrategy Daily Inverse ETF. Now, I want to show you this, posted a long time ago, okay? Also, just a heads up that a period starting February 25th, that's 2026, will be intense. The new lunar eclipse seasonal shift period around March 3rd, beginning around February 25th and ending March 10th, is going to be an incredible, eventful period. The one good thing it has going for it is the Jupiter station. Otherwise, it's pure chaos. Again, I don't know anything about astrology. I'm just confirming my hypothesis that the market is a bear and I'm going to bet on the bear market. That's it. I like money. I want to make money. If you don't want to bet on the bear market, I totally get it. Maybe you just want to be in cash. That's for you too. So strongly consider this stuff as it's not investment advice, pure entertainment only, pure logic and reasoning and how I make decisions. Okay? So if you got value for this, like, subscribe, share, and comment. The comments help the algorithm tremendously. I am going to do another video on the stock market. I was going to put these two videos together, but I'm not going to do that. They're totally inversely correlated. I'm just saying that I have an investment idea. I have a trade idea here because I love when things in a bear market, when a MicroStrategy Bitcoin exposed MicroStrategy ETF, Inverse ETF goes down by 50%, my mouth starts watering. I start salivating, because this is an opportunity for making money. What's my stop going to be? I think my stop would be below 9.75. I mean, look at those touch points right here. There's a touch point there, touch point here at 11. But if it breaks structure at 10.15, I would stop out. So my risk is 30%, and my upside is, it goes back to 25, 30, 100%. That's asymmetric upside. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you got value for this. And watch my other videos that are coming because they're going to be on some exciting stock biotech plays. And it just looks really good for us in the future. Thank you very much and have a great rest of your weekend.